Mark Hamill's early career included a recurring role on the soap opera General Hospital and a starring role on the short-lived sitcom The Texas Wheelers. He played the oldest son David in the pilot episode of 8 is Enough, though the role was later given to Grant Goodeve. His good friend Robert Englund was auditioning for a role in Apocalypse Now when he walked across the hall where auditions were taking place for George Lucas's Star Wars. After watching for a bit, he realized that Hamill would be perfect for the role of Luke Skywalker. It turns out Hamill's agent had already set up an audition, and Hamill was cast as Skywalker. Released in May of 1977, Star Wars was an enormous, unexpected success and had a huge effect on the film industry moving forward. Mark Hamill would go on to appear in a Star Wars holiday special in 1978, and later starred in the successful sequels The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. During the time between the first two films, he was involved in a serious car accident, fracturing his nose and left cheekbone. Although Hamill has been in other films, he kept his career alive with voiceover work, most notably playing the Joker in the animated Batman series beginning in 1992. Since then, he has done extensive voiceover work and had cameos in many productions, but finally in 2015, he once again reprised his role on screen as Luke Skywalker when he appeared in The Force Awakens, and then later in The Last Jedi. Luke Skywalker and Mark Hamill are one and the same, and the actor will forever be remembered for it. Soleil Moon Fry began her career as a child actress at the age of 2. When she was 7, she won the role of Penelope Punky Brewster in the NBC sitcom Punky Brewster. The series debuted in September of 1984, and it earned consistently low ratings. But the Punky character was a hit with young kids. After NBC canceled the series, it was picked up in syndication, where it aired for an additional 2 seasons before ending in 1988. Fry routinely appeared at parades, participated in anti-drug walks with then First Lady Nancy Reagan, and was the honorary chairperson for the National Institute on Drug Abuse. Fry also voiced and reprised the role in the animated series It's Punky Brewster, which aired during Punky Brewster's first season. During the 1990s, Fry guest starred on several television series and also did voiceovers. In 2021, Fry directed the documentary Kid 90, a film using archived footage that she shot during the 1990s. And her Punky character was even rebooted into a Peacock original series in 2021. All of the fame that Fry has earned has been due to the popularity of her unforgettable character, Punky Brewster. Jaleel White is best known for his role as Steve Urkel on the sitcom Family Matters. The character was originally intended to be a one-time guest appearance on the show. However, he was an instant hit with audiences, and White became a regular cast member. He also played several other members of the Urkel family, including his alter ego, Stefan Urkel, and Myrtle Urkel. The series was a staple of ABC's TGIF lineup. Urkel became so popular that White often appeared in commercials while playing the character. The series went on for 9 seasons and ended in 1998. By then, White had allegedly grown to hate the character. After Family Matters ended, White went on to star in a short-lived UPN comedy called Grown Ups, but then took a break to attend UCLA, where he graduated in 2001. He returned to acting with cameo appearances on Boston Legal, House, Castle, and Psych, but the only thing that comes to anyone's mind when they see Jaleel White is the character Steve Urkel. Linda Blair played Regan McNeil in the 1973 horror film The Exorcist, for which she won a Golden Globe Award and received a nomination for an Academy Award. The film followed a young girl named Regan, who gets possessed by a demon. Whether it was the slow burn, chilling atmosphere, or the demonic imagery showing Regan throwing up, spinning her head, and crab walking backwards down the stairs, this horror film has become a national treasure. In 1977, Blair reprised her role in the Exorcist sequel, Exorcist II: The Heretic, garnering a Saturn Award nomination for Best Actress. The film was a critical and commercial failure, however, and at the time was the most expensive film ever made by Warner Brothers. After that, she worked in many low-budget films. The era of Blair's career between 1980 and 1985 was marked by some critical backlash, with Blair earning a total of 5 Razzie Award nominations and being awarded 2 Razzies for Worst Actress. But Linda Blair hasn't given up on the role that made her famous. In October 2023, a new installment of The Exorcist is coming to theaters, and Linda Blair is rumored to reprise her iconic role in the film. Paul Hogan's breakout role was that of Mick Dundee in the 1986 film Crocodile Dundee. Hogan also co-wrote the movie, which was a massive critical and commercial success. He again portrayed Mick in the sequel Crocodile Dundee 2, which was released in 1988, and Hogan also produced and co-wrote it. Although less popular with critics than the first Crocodile Dundee, it was still a commercial success. The character made him wildly popular in the United States, with plenty of catchphrases that were fun to repeat. Hogan was, however, troubled that the character was perceived as a mix between Chuck Norris and Rambo, and ended up turning down other action roles because of it. He did, though, wind up marrying his Crocodile Dundee co-star Linda Kozlowski. Other film roles in Lightning Jack and Flipper would keep him busy during the 1990s, and later he would even show up in Subaru ads. In 2001, he returned to the role that made him famous with Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles. In recent years, Hogan has admitted that he is somewhat of a one-hit wonder, but embraces the impact the Australian character has had on pop culture. Alex Winter played the slacker Bill in the 1989 film Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and its sequel Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. If you saw the movie in the late 1980s, you know it's about 2 rock and roll obsessed teens on the verge of failing their history class, when they stumble upon a guide named Rufus and a time machine that helps them make the ultimate history presentation. Winters found international success alongside his co-star Keanu Reeves when the movie first premiered. Following the success of Bill and Ted, Winter was hired to develop a sketch comedy show for MTV. The result was 1991's The Idiot Box, which was a success for the network, but the channel's budget problems prevented them from filming additional seasons, and it was canceled after 6 episodes. After 31 years, Winters reprised his role as Bill when the 3rd installment, called Bill and Ted Face Some Music, was released. The movie received generally positive reviews from critics, and many welcomed the return of the characters. Alex Winter has done many other things throughout his career, including independent films and smaller roles, but for him, playing Bill in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure will always be what he is known for. Jay North will forever be remembered for giving TV life to the popular comic strip hellion Dennis the Menace. With over 500 children auditioning for the part, Jay was selected by Dennis the Menace cartoon creator Hank Ketchum himself for the star-making title role, alongside beleaguered parents Herbert Anderson and Gloria Henry, and exasperated neighbors Joseph Kearns and Sylvia Field. Dennis the Menace premiered on CBS in 1959 and quickly became a hit with audiences. North was paid $500 per episode. His strawberry red hair was bleached platinum blonde for the role, and the 8-year-old was instructed to shave a year off his age when speaking with the press. The show remained in the top 20, but North had grown tired and frustrated with the pressures of carrying a hit show and the long work hours. By the end of the 4th season, and in early 1963, to his relief, Dennis the Menace was finally canceled. North continued to audition, and in 1964 he appeared in an episode of Wagon Train, but found himself typecast as the impish Dennis Mitchell and had trouble finding steady work. He also had many guest starring roles throughout his career, but it was hard to shake the character of Dennis the Menace. North finally gave up and joined the Navy, and following his discharge, he worked to advocate for other child stars that were dealing with the same issues he had faced. He also later relocated to Florida, where he began work as a corrections officer, but still does meet and greets where he can interact with fans of Dennis the Menace. Elizabeth Montgomery's TV debut was in 1951 in her father's show, Robert Montgomery Presents. Her first Broadway show, Late Love, won her a Theatre World Award. On TV, a role in The Untouchables marked her first Emmy Award nomination. Although she had several roles under her belt, Montgomery had yet to make a name for herself, but in 1964 she landed a spellbinding lead role on the hit TV series Bewitched. In the series, Montgomery played the central role of lovable witch Samantha Stevens, with Dick York and later Dick Sargent playing her husband. The series aired for 8 seasons from 1964 to 1972, and Montgomery received 5 Emmy and 4 Golden Globe nominations for her role. After Bewitched, Montgomery did still show up on TV, playing dramatic roles in TV movies, and she also did some theater. But she was so convincing in Bewitched, it's hard to imagine her playing any other character but Samantha. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything, and maybe even consider supporting the channel over on Patreon. If you enjoyed this video, consider watching this playlist, and then visit the channel to search the Recollection Road Library. As always, thank you so much for watching.